I first heard about the emotional detox when Michael rang me and mentioned that it was something that he was doing, and I'd never heard of it before, but I was very intrigued when I found out about the process and what it involved, and it interested me enough that I thought I would give it a try. When I first heard about the emotional detox, I needed some time to find out about what it was and what it involved, and once I'd found that out, I was a complete yes. Before I went to the session, I was expecting to maybe have a bit of an emotional release while I was there and see what happened. I knew that it was for a long time, and that played on my mind a bit, so I suppose my expectations were that there would be different stages to work through, and in each of those different stages there would be a different kind of mini experience. Once I got the work, the main things that I wanted to work on were looking at relationships, looking at love, and intimacy with family, intimacy with loved ones, how I connect to them. And I feel like there was a space and an openness where I could look at those topics in more detail on the day. My experience during the session was that Michael was very warm when I first arrived and made me feel really grounded in the space, and then the session was sectioned off into different parts, and each of the parts flowed really nicely between one another, and it didn't feel like 4 hours at all. After the session, I feel like a lot of trapped emotion had been shaken up. So a couple of days afterwards, there was a lot of processing for me. I was quite snappy. I was quite angry with people, not massively, but in a noticeable way for me, because I'm quite a jolly, happy sort of person, and that wasn't there in the first couple of days afterwards. Since the session, I feel like there's been an opening. Like my heart and my love for myself has been more free and less blocked. So I feel like where the session brought up the negative emotions or the anger, I feel like that was a clearing, and it's allowed like a soft, more gentle space for me to love and approve for myself. I feel like Michael's sensitivity during the session, and before and after the session really, has been really thoughtful and soft, and given in a way that allowed me to better connect with some of the more tender spots that I struggled with. During the session, before and after, Michael made everything very clear about boundaries, about what was going to happen, and in the session, the space where we did the work was made to feel like it was a space that was completely contained and safe, and where I could really drop in and allow myself to feel and experience everything that happened. So if you're thinking about doing emotional detox and you're thinking about working with Michael, I would say just to go for it. Michael made the space really safe. There's so much in emotional detox that I'd never heard of before that has been a real eye-opener for me, and I've gotten a lot out of it. Would I be interested in receiving the full bodywork? I don't know. That's something that feels a bit more of a trigger for me. So that's something that I would need to think on a bit more. 2 or 3 triggers on me doing the full bodywork that I would feel very exposed. I would maybe go a bit deeper than clothes on Bodywork and then struggle with what came up because it might be a bit too much. I think for full Bodywork I would like to look a lot more at how quickly I go into my head for sex, and I'd also like to look at thought processes in the build up and come down from